Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Mike is here. Garrett is here. Hello, Garrett. How are you, my
Hello.
friend?
I'm here again. Look at this. New year, new me.
Yeah. How was your New Year?
Oh, it was crazy. Both holidays.
Both? You mean all three or both?
All three. Oh, well, yeah, you know what? The third
Yeah. Would
one,
you?
we
Yeah.
don't talk about the third one unless, how I celebrate that. January
What?
6th, right?
January 6th. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the big one.
I
Obviously, you
didn't
got.
want to tell anybody how I was celebrating because I feel like some people kind of take that a little too
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah. Maybe. My January 6th was spectacular this year. Very good. What did we have? Was that the season for Christmas and New Year's?
Yep.
It's really turned into January 6th celebration for
Yeah.
most, I think, in the country. So
At least half of it.
um, that was really good. I feel like I've been gone forever. I hope I remember how to do this. It's been a minute, so hopefully people are still there um, and understand the time off. Kind of the world fell apart. At least the left coast did while we were gone. I was and we'll get to your holiday. In fact, why don't we start with yours, Garrett? How was yours? Yeah, did you would have some fun with your hot mom and Marina and
Yeah, there's just a lot of family holidays, but my family's fun.
yeah, yeah.
I got
You're
one of those
what,
families where we all get together, we get as wasted as possible, and we try and play cards.
mm, we guys do that? Get shit faced as a family?
Yeah, the whole family gets shit faced, and then we all play cards.
Oh, that's great. Have you been
Yeah,
doing that since? Is that like a long-standing tradition? Like since you were a little kid?
as long as you can drink. Yeah,
Yeah,
when you were a
yeah.
kid, you were just
Okay.
kind of there playing around.
Does that ever turn south? Do you guys have like political disagreements in your family? Or are you guys
No,
all like kind of on the same page?
we actually argue on politics a lot, but it's so much of like my family doesn't care enough about the arguments that we're all
Yeah.
willing to let go of everything. There's no like I'm gonna die on this hill. It's all just like fuck you, and then we move on.
Yeah, that's a good place to be. No,
Yeah,
it's funny. I was talking to people when I was when I was out of town, and they were asking how it's going over here, and I'm like, it's great, but when you have political disagreements with people,
yeah,
it's like you're better off just keeping it to yourself. Now, I have the luxury of doing this. You kind of can get a lot out without having to do like just post
yeah.
something brutal on Facebook or attack a family member. There is an outlet at least. But someone was telling me like, yeah, my mom has to go into the other room and sneak watching Fox News, and I was like,
That's
yeah, I kind of
ridiculous.
know that place. Like it's just so foreign to me. Like I can't. Like if you're watching some whatever you're watching, I can't get my head around the mindset of like, yeah, you're not welcome in my company if you're watching MSNBC or if you're like, what?
Yeah,
Like, do you, man? Watch whatever you want. Get your shit wherever you get it. Maybe you'll teach me something. Maybe I'll teach you something.
yeah.
I just don't understand that, like, that kind of attitude if I can't be in the same room with someone who has a differing political opinion. And I mention that only because if you guys are getting shit faced and then talking like that used to not even be a worry.
Yeah.
Like 20 years ago, 10 years ago, even, it just wasn't that big of a deal. And now it seems like every conversation, like there's that worry that, the crazy uncle or Aunt Carol's going to show up and be like,
No, if it
waving a
helps
MAGA
any.
flag and bum everyone out or
If it
vice
helps any,
versa.
usually after the drinks, the cards we're playing is Cards Against Humanity, so it's all jokes, all humor, everything flies. It's like we'll make right wing and left wing jokes. Nobody really has a set stay.
I think I've heard of Cards Against Humanity. Is that the one that's like meant to
Yeah, it's
elicit?
all offensive cards.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds like a good family.
It's fun.
Honestly, get that shit out in the open. I love it. Lot of fun. It's crazy. I drove through California. Well, I was in California for 2 weeks. In Northern during the holiday during Christmas, the first part of the holiday. By the time January 6th came for that celebration, I was in Dallas, but I went through Palm Springs and LA. I don't know, a couple days before the apocalypse happened out
Yeah.
there, and it's kind of wild to see, man. They're uh, it's nuts. I was concerned for friends there. I've been to a lot of houses in that area, and
Yeah.
Chris and Michelle and Raj's place, and
I saw Chris marked himself safe. I was happy to see that.
yeah, yeah.
Facebook let me know, hey, Chris is marked safe. I'm like, okay.
Chris is doing
I made
great.
sure to mark myself safe too.
Yeah, it's funny how much those winds can shift though. And
Yeah.
it's like, because he had said that he had to evacuate. Now he's right off Sunset. So if you know where the Comedy Store is, Chris is like right across the street from that. He can walk to work. So, and he's right off Sunset Strip. So a lot of this was, if you don't know the area real well, that coastal area, Pacific Palisades, Malibu, Santa Monica, which is all kind of in the same area. But Malibu is fucking toast, man.
Yeah.
And it's, dude, I've spent quite a bit of time in Malibu, in those, not living there or anything, but Roy Rogers Beach is in Malibu. That's where Raj and I did a show one day for a couple hours. Been to many of those restaurants on the coast with piers that go right out into the ocean. Moon Shadows is one. I think Raj and I were at Moon Shadows. I think that's where I posted a picture. I don't know if you have it, Garrett, but
yeah, I'm getting it right now.
I think that was at Moon Shadows. There's also
we got the article
Dukes.
here for it.
You got an article there, yeah. I think Moon Shadows is gone now, which is like an iconic spot there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Completely destroyed. Look at that right here.
Yeah. It's just a haul, man.
She gone.
Yeah. It's just crazy. I think Dukes is one of them. Yeah, Dukes in Malibu. I don't go there because it's seafood, and I don't like fish at all. Couldn't care less about them. Don't want to eat them. Want them left alone. I don't want to bother them. But there's something about the smell and the texture that just fucking creeps me out. So I've never eaten it. And people are really bummed out by that when I tell them I don't do the fish thing, man.
They get some of it.
What's that? Yeah.
Some of the more gamier fishes, like I know people are like, oh, it's wild caught. It's the best kind, because I used to work in a fish market. And I think just over time of working in a fish market for so long, there's certain smells, especially the wild caught stuff, that's just, it hits you and you're like, oh no, I smelled too much of that rotten.
Yeah, there's just something about it. I can't do it. I did have a bite over the weekend. We went to Dave Landau took Drew and I to a steakhouse after we recorded on Tuesday.
Great show, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Just great. And there's a sketch we filmed that'll be coming up in like a week or this week or something. I don't know. I'll let you know when it does. But we went to some really cool chop house place there, the Ranch, I think it's called, in Dallas, which was fucking amazing. And Dave really wanted one of their, I don't know if it was crab appetizer or something. He's like, you got to try it. I'm like, he's like, you've had this, right? I'm like, no, never. And he's like, what? He was kind of appalled. People get appalled. They really do take offense if you haven't tried something. He's like, I'm like, all right, I'll take a tiny little bite, because it had this like pita bread, this soft pita bread thing. And I was like, all right, I'll put a little on there. And he's like, wait, you've never had this before? You've never had shellfish? And I was like, no. And he's like, well, you could be allergic. And I was like, I doubt it. And he's like, yeah, but if you are, you'll like die. And I was like, all right, well, that's okay by me. That would be a hilarious way for me to go out, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a riot if I died from a nibble of a shellfish with Dave Landau and Drew Lane
after everything
at a steakhouse in Dallas?
Taken out by a mollusk.
After everything I've done to myself through this life, if that's how I went out, that would be something I couldn't top. So I was like, all right, I'll try. And it was fine. I just took a tiny bite, and then I was like, okay, I'm done with that. I guess I can check that off the list. I didn't die. It was fine. I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know why I brought up fish, but I don't
hate seafood, and you're hanging out with Drew and
Dave. Yeah. But while I was in Dallas, why don't I'll circle back to the LA fires. That's what it was. It was Duke's seafood place there in Malibu. That is, I think Duke's is still standing, but Moon Shadows, which I've been to a couple times and is great, is no longer. I did have one gripe though. I was on my flight coming home from Dallas. So Drew ended up staying an extra day, in Dallas, and he had a dope ass hotel, so I don't blame him. He should have stayed there for another week. But because dude, I landed and it was 32 degrees out in fucking Dallas, and it looked like Detroit. It was just that really cold gray, and out of nowhere, there's like a week long block of 30 degrees, and then it rained, snow, and everything. I went to
with you.
What's that?
You brought the winner with you, or Drew did?
Drew did.
Yep,
Drew
it's
must
his turn
have,
this time. Yep.
I was trying to bring Phoenix with me, and no, it Drew outdid me and brought Detroit.
Strong personality.
Yeah, he is a strong personality. He's got more time in this game, so he was successfully able to bring Detroit with him to Dallas. And so what should have been 60 degrees and sunny for Drew for a week turned into fucking more of Detroit. So, but anyway, I ended up going over to his hotel, and that's where we shot the TDC episode. And I just did it on my phone. I didn't end up bringing all this equipment like I talked about doing. It was just going to be too complicated. I didn't want to fly with it, and I didn't want to ship it, because if there was any problem, then I would have been fucked for this. And this stuff, believe me, is too expensive for my blood. So I was like, you know what? If we do it, we'll just do it with a phone, and good enough. But I had to take an Uber home from his hotel to my hotel, which was only a handful of miles, 10 miles, something like that, 8 miles, and took 45 minutes. Not a soul on the road. And this is right when the game ended. So Dallas is an hour earlier than Detroit. And so it was only like 9:30 at night or something like that when that football game ended. So we did the show, watched the football game, and then I fucked off. And dude, it took forever to get back. And the roads, there was just a little bit of snow on the road. No, ghost town. It was like COVID. It was crazy. No one on the road.
It's too much for them.
Dude, they don't have the infrastructure.
No.
And so they can't really salt the roads. They don't have plow trucks. And so it was like every Uber driver I had was like, you're not going anywhere on Friday. You're not going anywhere. And then one of them scared the shit out of me. He goes, they're all foreigners. And he was telling me that he had this, he was taking this group from the hotel to the airport the day before, and they were going to South Korea or something like that. Okay. And they canceled their flight because little Rocket Man in North Korea was doing some test shit, launching some stuff. So they couldn't fly.
They want to keep the planes out of that area for a second. Like, oh, he's doing some shit.
Yeah. So apparently you couldn't fly into South Korea. And then he was like, and people were stuck on the tarmac for like 4 hours at Dallas Fort Worth Airport. And I was like, fuck this. Right around then, I get a text from the airlines, and they're like, hey, time to check in or whatever it was, something like that. And I was late on my check-in, but I'm like, okay. Yeah. And they're like, hey, would you like to upgrade to first class? And I'm like, oh, what's this going to be, $1,000? Because it used to be like $75. And it was like the best 75. Fuck yeah, the best $75 you'll ever spend. So they offer me for $200 to upgrade to first class. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be stuck on the tarmac. Yeah. I don't know if I'm ever getting out of this fucking airport. I'm like, hell yes, it's going to cost me a Lego in the future, but I'm doing that. And so I did. I'm like, I don't want to sit in that fucking airport. I want to be the first one on the plane. I want to sit down in a bigger chair, and I want them to bring me drinks right away. That was my philosophy. Yeah. Well, we get into the plane, and I'm seeing all these guys like in first class. It's filled. These fucking fat chicks and dudes, and they're all wearing
These aren't first class people.
Yeah. No, they could have been first class people. I don't sit in there very often, but I'm like, they're all wearing like these, like what look like wrestling t-shirts. Like hardcore, like, those ones with like American flags and like
bald eagles on them.
Yeah, shit like that. And they all say like, take it over America or something. They got some stupid slogan,
but it's force the wipe.
But it's like written like in hardcore lettering, and you're like, these guys mean business. And then there's a dude on there, and he's got like he's got his hair in a bun. He's got his hair all up in a bun, and he looks like a pro wrestler.
Okay.
He looks like a pro wrestler. He's got dreadlocks that go down to his asshole, but it's in a man bun.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And he's wearing one of these shirts. I'm like, this must be. I remember seeing him in the in the airport too. This must be some sort of fucking wrestler or something. And they're wearing shirts that say lifestyle Christianity on them. And I'm like,
oh no,
what the fuck is going on?
It's not pro wrestling.
It's not pro wrestling. It's pro fucking God, man. It's pro God. And these dudes, I'm just like, oh my God. And so there's a dude sitting next to me. He's wearing one. He's fucking, and I'm just like, and so in the first class, there's 2 seats, in the poor person seats where I usually sit, there's 3 seats. And so you get less leg room. You're kind of cramped in there. And so you get to spread out a little bit like a big shot when you're sitting in first class.
Yeah.
And so I'm on the window and he's on the aisle. God guy. Yeah. And he's sitting there and I'm like, can I hop in here? And he's like, gets up like I'm a bother. Usually people are like, hey, how you doing? They've got a glass of champagne or wine or something. And I'm like, he doesn't say a word. And I'm like, hey, how's it going, man? Just polite, conversation.
He can sense the devil in you.
Yeah, maybe. He's like, this guy's too devilish for me.
Yep.
And so I end up getting in, sitting down, and it's like, okay, whatever. And he doesn't say a fucking word the whole flight. And then I see man bun guy sitting he's 2 seats in front of me on the other side of the aisle. And he's got his iPad out and he's watching videos one after the other of himself.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I've got to figure out who this dude is. I'm going to. I'm on a mission now. Like, who sits down?
I think you stumbled across a cult.
I don't know what it was, but I think I sent you a video.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Of lifestyle. So I'm literally sitting in the plane. I'm like, lifestyle Christianity. And there he is. And his name's Todd White. Yeah.
Kind of an ironic name.
Yeah. And so who sits on a plane? Is that a little weird to sit on a plane and watch fucking 2.5 hours of yourself?
Yeah, I get it. Like maybe if he was editing the videos or doing something with them, he's going to post them. But if he's just sitting down and watching them, there's a problem.
That's a great point, Garrett, because you know what? I've been on planes before and got my book out and I'm highlighting.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've got an interview coming up next week and I'm taking this time to read my book and highlight, write questions like people do work. No, this was just video to video watching himself on stage and whatnot. And so we're flying and I'm just watching this and I'm just getting irritated. It's like, motherfucker, this guy's way too into himself. And then I'm like, it has been way too long. Usually if you sit down in first class, and anyone that's flown on this knows this, they bring you drinks right away. So you sit there and you can smugly have your drink. You can get cocktails, you can get wine, whatever you want. And all I wanted was a water and a ginger ale. That's my go-to on a flight. And I'm thirsty, but I'm like, I'm be sitting down in 1 minute and they're going to bring me drinks immediately. No one brings a fucking drink. And then this guy finally pauses his video and they finally make an announcement over the PA. They're like, yeah, we had some turbulence back there. And so we had to sit down and fuck off for a little while. We're going to start our beverage service now. We're 2 hours into the flight at this point.
Oh no.
I'm like, dude, we're landing in a half hour. I'm dying of thirst. I can't bother rock and roll God guy next to me because he's irritated that I'm sitting next to him. So I can't even go up and ask for a water. And then fucking this dude, super rock and roll Jesus guy with the hair, he fucking goes up and starts, I don't know, preaching to the fucking sky waitress.
Oh no.
He sits there up front for 25 minutes just yammering at this woman. And I'm like, I'm in the back seat and I'm just going, asshole. Because everyone's got headphones on. They can't really hear me anyway. And I'm just moaning, asshole. She's got a job to do, sir. She's got a job to do. And one of those jobs includes bringing me a fucking water. And I'm dying of thirst. I don't know what you're chirping about up there. I don't know if you're preaching the Lord. I don't know what you're doing, but you're making me mad at God now. Yeah. I'm sitting back here praying that you'll go back to your seat so she can get to work. And so I found this video of him, and just so you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And maybe he's a great guy.
Heart. I was going to say he was watching himself like maybe somebody has to watch him, but 1.2 million views. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah.
100% to being a son. of God as a father. I'm asking you to reveal to my heart, to my soul, to my spirit, what it means to be in communion with you.
I've been to a couple of these mega churches.
Have you?
They're interesting.
These guys are based in Texas. By the way, first class.
Just woke up and communed with Jesus on my bed and just said thank you so much for another day. And gosh, it's just an amazing relationship that I got. Just said, God, I thank you that this is who I am. This is who you've created me to be. And then I texted my friends and said, I'm going to go down and work out.
Oh, he is white.
I had an encounter with a housekeeper in the hallway before I came in here. And God spoke to me about her back, and she couldn't even bend. And
oh, really?
So I held her hands, and she said I couldn't. And we were sitting there praying, and Father, thank you. She bent. She goes, oh, no, it's killing me. I go, no way. That's not okay. Father, I thank you in the name of Jesus. And she bent over, and she goes, there's like a heat in my back right now.
so today, when I was walking by and I asked you about your back, what did you think?
Thank God he's got a camera crew with him.
It feels there's no pain. It's like it's gone away all of a sudden.
Hey.
I've been having trouble for a year with my back pain. And now I felt that warm thing, and I was like, okay, how's this going to heal me? And it's started the healing because I haven't had any pain.
Yeah. It's like, you better read the script I gave you.
Just to check it.
Just to check it out, but I haven't had any pain.
So she's in there, and she's like bent over. I said, just touch your toes. She touched her toes. She goes, I can't do this. She goes, what's
She looks
going
like she
on?
could do
I said,
that, by the way.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very amazing. I like that.
So good. So
Maybe there is a sign of God that comes and help me.
it's so good.
Wow, so maybe God is listening to me. So I wasn't too sure because I wasn't
No, God's listening
paying
to him,
attention to him
and
because
he
I
told
thought there was no such
God
thing
to
as
do that.
God not going to
Right.
help you. But really, it is.
I have a personal relationship with Jesus.
There it is.
Would
There
you
you
like
go.
to have that?
Yeah, what?
It's amazing.
Sure,
So
why
what
not?
happens is, what God does is, regardless of whether we know that we've
See,
sinned or
pause
whether
here,
we've
Garrett.
fallen short,
This is
It
this
reminds
is what
me,
he did to this is what he did to my sky waitress. At this
no.
point, this woman is on the clock. She's working at a hotel, and she's got rooms to vacuum, right?
Yeah.
And instead, we got to make this video here. We got to take up her time. We got to spend an hour, whatever we're doing here. But I'm sensing a theme here.
It reminds me of the South Park episode where they made fun of Christian rock by just taking regular love songs and replacing all the love interests with Jesus.
Yes.
And it was just like gay for God.
Yeah.
That's what this is. It's 100%. It's just homoerotic God.
It does feel like this is a performer.
Yeah.
That so many of these people, it reminds me of the people, and no offense to Mr. White here. He might be the greatest guy in the world. I have no idea. I only took issue with him delaying the drink service on the flight, a little bit with the hair, but other than that, he may be a wonderful human being. I have no idea.
I don't think so.
I don't think Jesus would be flying in first class, but hey, we're all imperfect human beings. But this kind of thing reminds me kind of the people that worked in New York at the they worked on Broadway when they were going to go picket Trump or whatever at the White House, and they bring like their whole stage setup and musical instruments, and it's like, yeah, you're just looking for a performance, like you want to perform for people. Mm-hmm. That's what you want to. This really has nothing to do with you're using this your pretend care for illegal migrants or whatever the fuck you say. You're using that to launch into like, watch me perform, everybody. Watch how talented I am as a performer. And that's kind of what it looks like when you see someone on stage in front of thousands of people on their knees, listening to them preach. And it almost feels like a show. Yep. I don't know. That's kind of maybe that's unfair, but
no, I think I think you're right to judge this man. I'll tell you why. Because one of the big things in the Bible is about not being narcissistic and full of yourself. It's a lot about doing to others and being good to your community and people around you. It's actually a sin to be very vain and narcissistic. So the fact that this guy is saying, like, I'm the one who talks to God, come to my congregation, I'll speak to Jesus for you, I will heal you. Look at me. I grew more myself. Check out these dreads. That's how I know he's bullshit. This guy is full of shit. Have you ever seen
You think so?
show? Yeah, there's a show on HBO Max. Highly recommended. It's called Righteous Gemstones.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it just rips right. Yeah, great show. It rips right into the mega churches. And this guy, one for one, has all that shit going.
It does have a Righteous Gemstones vibe to it. And
he could be a character.
I hate to shit on these guys because I don't know anything about them. I don't know. Maybe people can do some research and let me know about Lifestyle Christianity. They're based in some town in Texas.
Yeah.
Lots of churches are, but yeah, that was my flight. But I ended up coming home on Friday night, and I was able to get out of Dallas okay, and a lot of fun. Thank you to those guys, Dave and Angela. Angela's the best. She's one of my favorites. Drew absolutely loved her. She's kind of the point person when you're down there. So that was a lot of fun, and I'll let you guys know when the sketch that Drew and I were a part of with those guys when that comes out.
Sorry, I just Googled Lifestyle Christianity Todd White and hit news in the first article in March 26, 2024. Is Todd White a charlatan who deceives people with healing miracles? Scholars debate.
Yeah.
What
does it say?
Shame on you. Todd White says the critics. He's getting criticized a lot. I feel like I met Jesus again. Todd White makes surprising shift away from his past preaching. So this guy's had to go through a couple of stages before he got to where he's at right now.
He's hardened. You can tell by looking at him, Yep. It jumped out of me like it would be weird I think it would be weird if I sat on the plane and watched videos of you and I doing this for like 2 hours and just bounced around and watched them all. That I think that would be, scream narcissistic. I don't know. What were you going to say?
I figured out what his grift is.
What?
He's doing the Russell Brand thing right now where it's kind of like men for Jesus, men for God. Like, let's be men together in God.
Yeah.
I'm looking at his another news release. Men's Advanced 2024 speaker lineup focused on affirming biblical definitions of manhood, and he's the main speaker, Todd White.
Yeah.
He's doing the manosphere grift.
Okay, so the women are supposed to be submissive to their man,
whatever, like wholesome family, traditional wife stuff.
Yeah. Which I'm not opposed to. I think that's great. If you can get some chick to dial in and be like, yeah, I'll cook and take care of the household. Like that's a win, and put out whenever you want. Like that's a win. Yeah. I get it, but mildly unfair probably, but okay. I would definitely take that. But yeah, it kind of had that vibe. That's why I bring up the t-shirts, the rock and roll. Yeah. Then the dude sitting next to me he had his cell phone on, and he was texting some chick and was just like, where were you last night? I was dancing with everyone. And like they had some blowout Jesus party. Yeah. And he was cutting a rug on the dance floor, and now he's hitting up this chick and where were you? I wanted to dance with you. And it was like, it just doesn't feel real Jesus-y. And the reason I know this, Garrett, because I'm not looking over at someone's phone. Yeah. Okay. He did get up to go to the pisser at one point, and he left his phone face up, sitting on the armrest between us with the open
if somebody
text.
Does that, if I did that with my phone, I expect people to read it. Like I left it there for.
Well, yeah. And it was just like, I've been to church before. It doesn't seem super, maybe it's changed a lot, and it's about crushing pussy. You're all crushing pussy for Jesus or something. I don't know. But yeah, this kind of world wrestling, vibe.
It was just one of those guys who lives a little dangerously and lets the text show up on the lock screen.
Well, maybe, but
he just left
this dude, the brief research I did on Mr. White there, I think he has a past where he was doing a lot of drugs, probably crushing a lot of pussy. It looks like he's into himself. Yeah. And now he's found the Lord and found the way. And
or he
no
found
offense
a new way to make money.
Yeah.
Churches are not taxed.
No. It's a good gig if you can get it. If you can pull that off, and just kind of had that vibe of look at me, I'm important kind of thing. Yeah. And like I said, I hate to shit on the guy too much. I don't know him at all. I didn't even talk to him. So
he can fight me. I'm the one who said all that stuff.
Yeah, Garrett said all that shit because he's bigger than both of us. Yep. He definitely works out. His body's a temple, Garrett.
Obviously, look at that.
Yeah. Yeah. So have you been following the California wildfires?
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Speaking of Jesus, I don't know if this is Jesus like, all right, enough with you fucking LA people.
You want to be flamers
Enough.
so much? All right. I'll show you flamers.
Yeah. How about I just burn the whole place to the ground? How about
Did you
we
see
start there?
the Asian guy in the news who blamed it all on gay people?
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
just funny.
I
Yeah,
did
that,
see that clip. Yeah.
let me see if I can find
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, if you can find it, we can play it. There's a few videos I sent you. The death toll now is risen to 24 at last count I have. These death tolls are don't even trust what I'm telling you because they change all the time. Sometimes they even go down miraculously. It's like maybe there's resurrections going on in the City of Angels, and but as of reporting today, 24. And more than a dozen still missing, which means you can add that dozen onto the 24 at least, right? Because I don't know how you just go missing in that.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you're dealing with fires. I did this. I don't even know if I ever talked about this, but when I was getting ready to move, remember in the summer when we had all those cottonwood trees dumping all that shit all over my house. And I shot a video in the backyard around the pool. And I took my lighter and I lit it and it was like, and it torched them all instantly. And I was like, well, that's a good way to get rid of those.
Yep.
It was awesome. It was on concrete, right? It was on concrete. No big deal.
Yeah.
I
Plus
went
we're in
out
Michigan, it's very wet. And
yeah,
you're
but
around your
was
pool.
it was very dry there. But the point was that it was on cement and they just went up and then it went out. No big deal. And the little seedlings are left behind.
Yep.
Kind of cleaned up the mess. I did the same thing in the front yard at one point. I didn't film it, but I did that on the bark, on the wood chips leading up to the front of the house. And it went up to the front of the house and then it started smoldering.
Uh-oh.
And then it started a fire. It literally started going. And I was like, oh, shit.
Oops.
And I ran in the house and I filled up a cup of water and I threw it on it and realized it was now twice as big as when I went inside to get that first cup of water. And then I went, help, because I tried to stomp it with my foot and nothing happened. At this point, a neighbor pulls up and goes, you're in front of your house is about to be on fire. And I was like, yeah, thanks, Dick. Thanks, asshole. I'm standing here for a reason. At the time, I had two guys that were finishing up the work on my house. They were almost done for the day, too. Josh and David. David was the guy doing the tile work. Josh was kind of the foreman of the whole job. And Josh, I was like, I think I'm lighting the house on fire. And Josh opens the door. He goes, oh, fuck. Grabs a hose and runs it through the middle of my house and turns it on. And he's like, start hosing this whole thing. And I start hosing. Dude, it was incredibly difficult to put this thing out. It smoked out like through the house. It smoked up the neighborhood. It was just like a match quickly on bark. And it was out of my hands. It was out of control. Had they not been there, my next call would have been like 911, get the fire department. Like it would have been the whole fucking shebang. So when they talk about 12 people missing, I can see it already.
Yeah.
It looks like, oh, there's fire coming over the hill. Oh, it's at my neighbor's house. I'm going to stand here with a hose and battle this. That stuff gets so out of hand and all consuming so fast.
Oh, yeah.
So fast. And it's so hot and the smoke is uncontrollable. You can't, unless you're standing there, you can't even imagine just how overwhelming those fires would be in LA. Like in Pacific Palisades, in mountainous regions like that, Malibu, Santa Monica, catastrophic. So the idea that people are going to want to try to save their possessions, their houses. I'm going to stand here with a hose and bat. Like, it doesn't surprise me at all that you're going to have people try to stick with it and do that. 16 people were killed in the Eaton fire. Another 8 were killed in the Palisades fire. The fires have so far burned more than 40,000 acres, destroyed 12,000 structures. The number of missing is expected to rise. victims so far, and they give a bunch of the victims, 85-year-old, the 66-year-old, 55-year-old. And then they point out several died trying to protect their homes. One of the deaths was at the hospital. Data shows 13% containment for the Palisades fire, 27 for the Eaton, 89 for the Hearst fire. Those Santa Ana winds are expected to kick back up again.
Yeah.
And God knows.
Fire is one of those ones I don't know why people would try and ride out. Because, like, with a tornado, any of that other stuff that goes on, it's kind of like, okay, I could see you batten down the hatches a little bit more, really hold shit down and make sure it's secure before you hide and buckle down. But, like, this is a fire, dude. You can't batten down the hatches or anything. You're not fighting back. Get your shit, get out.
Yeah, and when it goes, it goes. It's like no,
I work in fire
absolutely. Yeah. You know how hard it is. Like I had no idea. It was like, oh wow, that sparked the bark there on the ground, the little wood chips. Like, oh, no big deal, dude. It was under the bark, and so even when it looked like it was out, it wasn't out.
No,
like it was incredible how quickly this little, with my lighter on my front yard, got out of control for me. Like, I wouldn't have believed it. It's like, oh yeah, I'll just go stomp it out. I'll just stomp it out. No, you stomp it and it jumps and it spreads and now it's going this way. Like, it was real eye opening and like, oh shit, man, you can't mess with fire like this.
Yeah, we had a fire at the MGM Graham last Thursday, and luckily my company's systems, they fixed everything, put the fire out before it got out of the Prime Steakhouse kitchen. And that's one of those ones where it's like, dude, we almost lost the MGM Grand, like at least one of the restaurants before the fire department would have got there. And it wasn't just for the certain chemicals, everything goes, but it goes quick. It's basically their charbroiler got hot enough to go up into their system, like up into their hood, and it caught the grease on fire up there.
Yeah.
And you don't even see it coming. All of a sudden, the whole kitchen's on fire. It takes maybe 5 minutes max.
Have you ever had to evacuate?
Never had to evacuate with a fire with an area, but usually that's just step one. You pull the system, you get out of there.
Yeah. Well,
I've never had to evacuate myself.
We got close to evacuation. I can't remember if they actually sent out the evacuation call. That one when I was in Cave Creek, and there's a mountain behind G's old house, and you could see it at the top of the mountain. The whole mountain was on fire, and so they evacuated. Like, there's only a handful of houses in that area, so it's not like a neighborhood, but it was it's wild. I remember I was coming back from Big Sur into Northern California. So Big Sur is along the coast, almost central California, a couple hours south of 2 hours, 45 minutes south of San Francisco along the Pacific Coast Highway. And and I was coming back. So you take like the one is the Pacific Coast right on the water. And then you come inland and you take like the 17 to the 280 and that gets you into Silicon Valley area. And so that 17, when you get off the coast and into the central part of the state, that's somewhere around Santa Cruz, that kind of area. And driving on the freeway, it's out of a fucking movie, dude, for an hour, over an hour. So it's probably a 2-hour drive, an hour and a half drive of just straight through the middle of the state. But there's mountains. And it's like the whole drive for an hour and a half, all on fire.
Damn.
Whole thing is on fire. And you're just driving, and you can't believe what you're seeing. The whole fucking mountain is on fire for an hour. It's like, that's the kind of shit they're dealing with. It's madness. When you see these ones down in Malibu, and that whole area, it's like, and now people are bitching about, like, oh, who's to blame? Who's responsible? And I don't know, in the end, like the water issues, forest management, that kind of stuff. But this is where it comes into play when you're talking about this Candyland world that they've been living in Southern California that we've bitched about forever. This DEI push. You can't help it. It's unfair. I've talked about it 1,000 times, how it's unfair to a pilot who just happens to be a woman or happens to be black nowadays, where it never would have crossed my mind. It's like, oh, there's a black pilot. Yeah. Not that I've seen a ton of those, but if there was, I would have just gone on and been like, cool, whatever. Now it's like, shit, did they lower standards so this guy could make the
Yeah,
cut?
are you really here, or are you just here because they need you here for a number?
Yeah, to check a box somewhere that no one cares about.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's cute. It's funny to me when it's, like everybody that works at Starbucks. It's like, yeah, you're harmless. You can have all the purple hair and fucking stupid pins and badges and pronoun badges you want to wear. Knock yourself out. Make the coffee and fuck off. It doesn't affect me at all. It's kind of goofy. I remember being young and rebellious too. Whatever. But when you're talking about firefighters, police, military, leadership positions,
doctors,
in government,
surgeons,
what's that?
Doctors and surgeons.
Doctors and surgeons, lowering standards. You can't, it's all fine and well when you don't really run into critical stuff. When they're on camera proudly bragging over and over about what their push is. Do you have the LA Fire DEI video? I think it's one of the ones I sent you. I sent you a few videos. I'm sorry. I'm kind of all over the place here, Garrett. But
I also found the Asian guy who blames it all on gay people.
Yeah, you want to play that?
Yeah, I can play
well,
that.
Let's watch this one and we'll play the gay one next. But yeah, this fucking idiot here, like this, somebody edited this and put this out.
Somebody just take the L off her shirt real quick so it says arson, and I think we'll have our answer. It's right here in front of us.
That's not
the
bad.
Fire chief
now,
all along.
What is that? Is that a man or a woman?
It's hard to tell,
like
but that's
it's wearing makeup.
Woman. It's a woman.
You think that's a woman?
Hard to tell, but it's trying to identify woman. I could tell.
Wow, what gave it away? Is it the ruse?
Lesbians have a certain look about them where they're trying to be manly, but they're just not quite there.
They can't quite nail it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can see that they're trying to be manly, but they can't quite nail it. It's a lesbian. If you can see that they're trying to be manly and they're definitely not nailing it, then it's a trans male.
So what is this one here? Is this a woman trying to fake out as a man?
Yeah, probably. It's just a butch lesbian, I think.
Just yeah. So is it a trans person or a lesbian?
No, just a lesbian.
Just a lesbian. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Let's see what we got.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
But you do have to carry him out of a fire.
Holy shit. That is... Like, think about what that individual, you're making fun of people who got stuck in a fire. This is the point of what I'm talking about how quickly that got out of control for me.
Yeah.
With my house. And I almost in a panic state, even though it was contained in a 8-foot area in my front yard, a panic sets in where I didn't really know what to do. And thank God there were a couple actual men in my house who were like, got on it, grabbed the hose, hooked it up, and it was just like, stay on this and blah, blah, blah. Like, are you kidding? Oh, if someone says, how are you going to lift someone out of it? But yeah, no, that's a legitimate question, ma'am, sir, whatever you are.
I trained on when I was doing firefighter classes, is carrying 140 pounds on your shoulder. And that was the basic, like, lowest end weight they would let you carry.
Yeah, and I don't know many men who are 140 pounds.
Yeah.
Very few men are 140 pounds, especially in America these days. So no, sir, ma'am, whatever you are, DEI hire clearly. Yes, that's a relevant question. Are you going to be strong enough to carry my husband out of a burning situation, burning building? Those people are no bullshit, man. Those firefighters are no bullshit.
Yeah.
There's no room for error because when that emergency happens, do you think when a firefighter shows up at the house, there's some lesbian there going, where's the lesbian firefighter to help me out? Yeah. I need another I don't recognize myself in this firefighter.
Well, not just that. Like, I was thinking about when she said that, I was like, I would not want somebody who looks like me to try and save me.
No.
Like, dude, if I kick in your door to save you, I'm going to stop for a second, light a joint on the fire, take a photo with that because it's cool. And then I'm like, oh man, this guy, I fucking can't lift that. Sorry, dude.
Dude, I
want a 6'5" fully built man to hold me in his arms like a baby and make me feel safe.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
dude,
my firefighter.
There's a place I go get just coffee, like a gas station around here. So a lot of times I take Marshy, I always take him to school in the morning. And then there's a gas station right on the corner. And I go in there and there's a lady in there that works there that's nice. And she's always got a couple cops hanging out in there.
Yep.
And they're like between shifts and it's just a hangout spot. It's like the old donut shop or something. They know her. And I walk by these guys. I see their cop car in the parking lot. And I see these guys, you know, a couple times a week. They'll be in there and just kind of hanging out with her and talking. It's quiet. There's really no one in there at this hour of the morning. And I get my coffee and I walk by these guys multiple times and they're absolute fucking hulks of human beings. They're massive.
Yeah.
They're massive dudes. They've got guns on. They're fucking 6'3", 260, rock solid. And it's like, yeah, you ain't starting shit with those guys in the room. You're just not. No. You look at them and you go, yeah, no, there's a difference in human beings. There just is. And when push comes to shove, when the shit goes down, those are the dudes you want there. And I thank them for their service when I walk by them. Thank you, guys. I'm glad you guys are here. If people are going to fuck around and find out, these are the dudes I want here. A couple of bad looking dudes you're not going to fuck with, part of the Phoenix police department, whatever they are, whatever, you know, city they're part of. It's like, yeah, firemen too. When you see actual firemen, no, this isn't the time for your fucking DEI hire. Sorry. It's just not. These are humans that are built different. They take tests that they take seriously. Like this isn't a joke. Is there more to that video? I can't remember if there's more to that. There. Was that the end of that one?
Yeah, it just says 5% of women in firefighting are black. That's it.
Okay. No, play the rest of it. Let's see. I thought there were a couple stats they were going to show us.
Yeah, here. That one.
About 5%.
You want to see somebody that...
that was it right there.
Oh, that was it. Oh, okay. Yep. Only 5% of working firefighters are women. Yeah, and?
Okay.
And? What does that have to... Dude, and maybe this, whatever that is that a woman? I don't know what that is. Clearly a lesbian one.
And then that's another thing that comes with firefighting that they're not talking about like this. Like, in order to become a firefighter, you cannot have long hair and you can't have beards, right? Like, all the women who become firefighters have to cut their long hair. That's why a lot of them don't become firefighters. It's something that doesn't fit under one of the helmets and it can catch.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just remarkable. All right. Do you have the gay? You want to see the gay?
Yeah. That's why the firefighters only grow mustaches and stuff, because they're not allowed to have beards because it won't let the mask seal their face.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. So it makes sense that a lot of women don't want to become firefighters, have to shave off their hair.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. This is who I think really did it.
Say that again?
Why is there a fire happening right now?
There are multiple fires that are taking place.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah.
You're the news though. You're supposed to know.
Well, I don't know how it started. We don't know how it started. There,
I think
winds.
it's all the gay people in LA.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Whoa. Cut away.
Gina,
Unacceptable.
Let
him speak.
You know, these are shit reporters. That's the time when you go, okay, hold on.
Explain. Because that's when you get the, hide your kids, hide your wife.
Yeah, you got to let those guys extrapolate. Let him continue. Sir, I'm interested in what your perspective is.
Yeah, it's and like, let him cook. Either he's fucking around and he has nothing else past that because he knew you'd cut away, and now you got him and you could grill him on it, or he's totally serious and you have the greatest story you're going to get all day.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Do we have video of Kristen Crowley, who I believe is the fire chief there in LA?
Yeah.
Let's check out Kristen Crowley. And this is why this comes back to bite these people when real shit goes down.
Yep.
It's not that Kristen Crowley's not competent. I don't know. Maybe she is.
Let me this one right here.
Wait, was it the one below?
You sent me the one below right here. This one.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Let's check this out. DEI is a top priority. How it started.
DEI is a top priority.
I'm not looking for a number.
I'm super inspired.
She took time out of her already busy schedule to tell us about her vision for the department's future, one that includes a 3-year strategic plan to increase diversity.
People ask me, well, what number are you looking for? I say, I'm not looking for a number. It's never enough.
The chief also checks another box when it comes to inclusivity and diversity at this department. She's a proud member of the LGBTQ community.
Cool. She likes pussy. Awesome.
Yeah, so am I, to make it special.
Yeah.
Firefighter.
Angeles Fire Department is launching its first ever Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Bureau.
So by creating this new bureau, our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Bureau, now we actually have the staff to do the work when it comes to doing a deep dive.
How it's going.
Photos of LA on fire.
California's fired 22,000 truckers, most destructive in LA history. They're tearing back. Cut fire department funding by $17.6 million months before wildfires turned into hellscape. Wildfire burns homes to the ground. You're useless. Yeah, they're not going to put up with this.
No. Returns from Ghana. Yeah, she was on vacation when this all started.
The fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor. Have you nothing to say today?
I like Vagine.
Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position?
Nothing.
What I want you to do is I want you to do your fucking job.
Yeah.
Good.
Do we have, I believe it was Kristen Crowley who was the Grand Marshal at the Pride Parade.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is good. Well, you want your fire chief out there with the city. Do we have a quick video of the Pride Parade there in LA?
Pride Parade at LA, the one that you sent me, and it came up with that DEI hire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think maybe it's the wrong link or something. It's from
Yeah.
Wokeness.
Well, she was the Grand Marshal, and there's a nice video of a guy on the back of a flatbed truck in a thong with his ass out. He's shirtless. He's got some straps and whatnot on. And there's another guy paddling his ass.
Oh, boy.
And then there's just a bunch of shirtless men around filming it and cheering it on. And there's pride flags all over the truck. All over the truck. Yeah. It's like the Pride Mobile. It's gayer than the Ace and Gary Mobile.
It's gayer than what we thought gay pride was.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gotten to a point where it's a little comical now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just remarkable, man. And then you get all these stories coming out, fact checking misinformation about the LA wildfires and California water policy. And I'm reading an article from Politico and PBS, and the problem is your credibility's been fucking torched. You people have sacrificed your credibility at the altar of things that don't matter for too long. And you've politicized things, whether it was COVID or Russiagate like these things have real world consequences the further we go, that they just do. And so it lends to credibility issues. And so I go, oh, PBS is putting this out. Politico's putting this out. Well, I wish I could believe that what they're saying is just fact, or that they're playing it straight and not trying to cover or protect something that they've helped create. Like, that's the world we've created for these people. Trump and some social media users blamed LA deadly fires on Governor Gavin Newsom, saying Democrats' environmental policies enable the blazes' danger and wreckage. Some social media reposted Trump's 2019 criticism of California's forest management policies. Do we have that video of Trump?
Yep.
Talking to Gavin Newsom?
Right here.
And protect it. You got to take care of the floors, the floors of the forests, very important. You look at other countries where they do it differently, and it's a whole different story. I was with the president of Finland, and he said, we have a much different, we're a forest nation. He called it a forest nation. And they spend a lot of time on raking and cleaning and doing things, and they don't have any problem. And when it is, it's a very small problem. So I know everybody's looking at that, to that end, and it's going to work and protect it.
Yeah. I mean, is Trump right about all this stuff? I don't know if he's factually right about all of it, but it makes sense that you need some sort of, for the forestry agencies at scale doing this kind of work and cleaning out areas, having controlled burns.
It's
so that
exactly like your fire that got out of control from you because it went right from the trail of seedlings to your house. That's how it works. If you just break that trail off and you find a way to cull it and make it nice, when a fire spreads like that, it doesn't have the trail to our buildings. That's what he's trying to say.
Right. Yeah. And he was saying this years ago. And it seems like every time we hear from political leaders in LA, they're bragging about, being a grand marshal at a gay parade or hiring more women than ever, or, it just seems like that's what's always a priority.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have some of those things as your priority, unless the shit hits the fan. And you need real serious people doing real serious thing. It's not about fake medals and being the first. Oh, we've got the first lesbian blah. No one, you know what? When your house is on fire, no one gives a shit who puts it out, who shows up, who comes to help, who helps you carry your belongings out of the house, or God forbid, your people out of your house. No one gives a shit if that person likes sucking dick or no one cares. No one cares if they're part of this community or that community. No one. Why would you think they would? So this goes on. We fact check these viral claims to see how or if California water policy and forest management factored into this disaster. No, I'm sure they had nothing to do with it. I'm sure they were just aces. As LA firefighters raced to contain blazes in the Pacific Palisades, the area's hydrant water pressure ran low and some hydrants stopped producing water. Trump blamed Newsom's management for the water issues and said Newsom had refused to allow beautiful, clean, fresh water to flow into California. Governor Newsom refused to sign the water restoration declaration put before him that would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rain and snow melt from the north to flow daily into many parts of California, including the areas currently burning in a virtual apocalyptic way. He wanted to protect an essentially worthless fish called a smelt by giving it less water. It didn't work, but didn't care about the people of California. Now the ultimate price is being paid. Trump's post seems to blame the water constraints on statewide water management plans that capture rain and snow as it flows from Northern California. Experts said those plans would not have affected the fire response. Southern California has plenty of water stored, said Mark Gold, the Water Scarcity Solutions Director at the Natural Resources Defense Council. The water shortages happened because the city's infrastructure wasn't designed to respond to a fire as large as the one that broke out in the Palisades and elsewhere. Well, maybe if you'd done some forest management, like people have been saying for years and years and years.
You say the city wasn't designed to fight a fire like that, then why did you design the city not to fight a fire like that if you knew it was a possibility?
Great question. Trump's reference to a water restoration declaration that Newsom refused to sign is puzzling, as such a document does not appear to exist. Newsom's press team called this pure fiction. Okay. Well, then Trump's spokesperson emailed PolitiFact, referring to a plan from Trump's first term that would have directed more water from the federal Central Valley Project to farmers in the San Joaquin Valley. Newsom and then Attorney General Xavier Becerra sued the Trump administration over the plan, which they said violated protections for endangered species, including Chinook salmon and Delta smelt, a slender 2 to 3 inch fish that's considered endangered under California's Endangered Species Act. Most of the extra water from Trump's plan would have been sent to the San Joaquin Valley. And it's wrong to connect water management further north to the firefighting challenges in Los Angeles. Okay. The local water system failed because the city's infrastructure was built to respond to routine structure fires, not massive wildfires across multiple neighborhoods. Oh, okay. So it sounds like you should have updated your infrastructure then.
Yeah.
You do brag a lot, Gavin, about being the 5th wealthiest economy on planet Earth if California was a nation. So, it sounds like you We're way more focused on all kinds of other things. And believe me, as someone who's been going to California literally every fucking year, my entire life, your cities have changed drastically.
Yeah.
Drastically, they've changed. Okay. I'm talking about how those cities looked and acted 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and now.
Yeah.
It's a wildly noticeable difference in LA and in San Francisco. It just is. So it's I don't know how to say it. It's better now than it was 5 years ago. I guess that's a win when it was
Maybe.
literally fucking tens of thousands of homeless bodies strewn throughout the entire city, all over every corner, under every bridge, just hanging out in every parking lot. That's what it was 5 years ago. And I made the point of saying that Apple's world headquarters, their property line ended. Okay, one hacker way is their street, and that $5 billion spaceship. You know where their property line is because it's the only stretch of block that doesn't have a homeless encampment on it. Their property line ends. The apartment complexes start right there. Okay, and that's where all the homeless were, and they finally did a sweeperoo and got those fucking people out of there.
I thought they just lit them all on fire.
Yeah. I don't know what they did, but all of a sudden they just broomed them all. Yeah. They were all gone. And they started, like, people are starting to get sick of this shit. Really sick of this shit.
Well, I solved the LA homeless and fire problem. If they wanted to take $17 billion and get it out of the fire budget, but put it into a homeless, problem, cleanup, whatever, we can stop there. How about we just light all the homeless people on fire on their way in, or if you see any homeless people, just light them up. No, hear me out.
I knew you were going to have some smart-ass answer.
But that way you can put the money back in the fire department for putting out the homeless people, and all the homeless people will get the fuck out of LA because they keep getting set on fire.
Yeah, I see where you're
problems.
going with this. I don't think your proposal is going to work.
Okay.
To torch the least in our society.
If
but
I was in a city that lit me on fire every so often for sleeping on a bench, then I probably wouldn't be in that city anymore. It'd solve the problem.
Yeah. Well, they tried that in New York.
Okay.
You saw the homeless guy get lit on fire, or the homeless woman get lit on fire to death in the subway.
But that's New York. That's different. I mean, they have a problem.
Where were you last month? Were you in New York last month? It sounds like someone tried to do that. Was an illegal, though. That was an illegal.
See, it wasn't me. No. Somebody heard what I was saying and thought about maybe they could do it in New York. But that's the problem, is he was trying to do it to his own kind, the illegals, and the homeless.
Yeah.
So it's got to be more of a controlled organization that does the business. We got to make it fair, equitable, make sure everybody gets burned on their way in, confirm they're homeless.
Even the trans ones, gay ones.
Oh, dude, it's
black ones, women ones.
Everybody.
Yeah, everyone can be torched.
Yeah, it's 2025. Everybody gets torched.
I don't know if there was more to this. These claims, these fact checks that are coming in. The three main water tanks near the Palisades were filled in prep of the fire because of dangerous weather. The tanks were all depleted by 3 a.m. on January 8th. Demand for water rose faster than the system could deliver it. There's water in the trunk line. It just can't get up the hill. Okay. Because we can't fill the tanks fast enough. Okay. Other social media users claimed slow construction of California's reservoir led to the hydrants running dry, but local infrastructure failures, not water storage, caused the hydrant problems. Oh, okay. So it wasn't. So they might be off on exactly which government entity to point the finger of blame at.
Yeah.
So that's what they're going to fact check here. In 2014, Californians voted to spend billions on water storage and reservoirs. Now, why would they do that? Why would they choose to spend billions on that stuff for stuff like this?
Yeah, because
they know there's
California
water issues.
Catches fire.
Yeah, you have been so inept in California. At least in Arizona, they go, look, it rains like 5 days a year. How about we try to catch some of this rainwater when it happens, and we don't just let it run into the desert? Yeah. How about we try to contain that and help with the clear water issues that plague desert living? And so Arizona's done a pretty remarkable job of doing that. California has talked about doing that forever. They get plenty. They have a rainy season in Northern California. I don't know what it is in LA, but they get lots of rain for periods of time in California. How about you catch some of that?
I was going to say the Pacific Northwest is famous for rainy.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So Californians voted to spend spend $2.7 billion. They approved a ballot measure to spend $2.7 billion, 2014. So a decade ago,
Okay.
they did that, and to date, none have been completed. None. Only one of those projects is a new reservoir based in Sacramento Valley. A closer project, the Chino Basin program, will improve storage capacity in a system about 60 miles west of Los Angeles. Yeah, this is what you see.
Yeah.
I'll ask you a question.
Okay.
If you were in this area and you've got a catastrophe on an apocalyptic level coming through, whether that's from hurricanes like you saw down in the Carolinas and Florida, and other places, or wildfires in California, would you feel most comfortable with the leadership of Gavin Newsom, or would you want someone like Ron DeSantis in charge?
Oh, dude, Ron DeSantis, dude, I'm put it this way. After the hurricanes came through Florida last year, I think it was, he had a bridge that was torn down that all the people on the island couldn't get access to groceries, food, things. He had a fucking new bridge built in a weekend. Immediately.
I think it was 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days. He was on it. He was like, oh shit, these people can't get help, on it.
Mm-hmm.
Those people can't get help, on it.
That's what you expect
Yeah.
from these leaders. And if you're being honest with yourself, there's not a fucking person listening that would go, nah, Gavin Newsom probably has this. No, you can see what the policies did. Like, you can hate Rudy Giuliani all you want. You can hate the other billionaire douchebag that ran New York all you want.
Yep.
Those were safer, cleaner, healthier cities under their leadership. Florida, they're getting rave reviews in Florida for how they're handling disasters under the competent leadership of someone like Ron DeSantis.
Yep.
Now, I'm sure there's a lot of misinformation going around. I'm sure a lot of this is just flat out of the control of people in charge. Okay? I'm not gonna act like Santa Ana winds coming in at 100 miles an hour, shifting over days, isn't going to absolutely bury these towns and overwhelm the resources they have. But I can promise you that, just looking from afar at how California's governance has gone the last decade, it's clear what's important to them. It's clear, and it's not this.
No,
it's
as soon
not
as you
this.
said, what, 2.3 or something billion for reservoirs? 2.7 billion for reservoirs that never got built. I was like, oh, so 2.7 was the administration fees. What's the actual cost to get it built?
Yeah, and it'll probably end up being $100 billion if you actually wanted to do it. And it's just like the green energy push. We're going to spend $1 trillion on new charging stations, and then they putter along, and fucking 3 years later, half of one's been built. Like it's just incompetence. It's not these people's money. They just it just seems like utter incompetence. The good thing is, LA has been on this track for a long time. We've talked about it for years on shows like this. We're not the only show doing that, pointing this stuff out. You have fucked with people that this will play out more like it did in Martha's Vineyard, when it's like, get these fucking dirty, smelly illegals that don't speak the language out of my neighborhood. That was I'm paraphrasing now, but that's essentially what they did. Thank you for stopping by, dirty brown people who don't speak my language. Here's a bologna sandwich. Now fuck off. Get the fuck off our beautiful island. Fuck out of here. Within 20 hours, out.
Come back when you can clean toilets.
They love to sit and say no human is illegal. Sanctuary city, all welcome here, until you show up with them on their porch, and then it's like, ooh. These policies that Californians seem to be starting, like, oh my God, we've got the first fucking black chick who likes to eat pussy is running the city on this now, and she's got clear goals, and it's to hire more black fucking women that eat pussy.
Yeah.
That's not going to fly with those people. The people that are in Pacific Palisades, these are average $10 million homes starting.
Yeah.
The Malibu, 20 million. that whole strip down the PCH, down into Roy Rogers Beach, like, dude, it's gone. It's gone. This is where it's going to get interesting. And I would recommend checking out Adam Carolla, who's dealt in construction and all that kind of shit, has lived in LA his whole life. There's been videos of him going around because he was at a hotel doing a quick show. I recommend going and listening to Adam Carolla, who will tell you exactly how this is going to play out.
Yeah.
When you're talking about the Coastal Commission and dealing with when you're trying to rebuild, this is going to get very fucking interesting.
I was going to say, you ever want to learn about a city? Talk to contractors from the city. They will give you all the real information.
I have very small anecdotal evidence. You know, my parents have a small house there in Northern California, tiny bathroom, you know, and it's like, yeah, let's update it. It hasn't been updated since Grandma and Grandpa lived here. And it should be, if you wanted to do some nice fixtures and hey, let's put a new high-end Toto toilet in here and let's upgrade the hardware and put a new it should have been a $10,000 fix. You could do that, and they're charging astronomical prices for everything. The amount of red tape you need to go through in California to get anyone over there to do some quick tile work, install a sink, like, dude, it'll cost you $80,000 to do what would cost you $10,000 if you were in Detroit. Cost you $10,000.
That would be considered bad in Detroit, like all the red tape and stuff. Because I do this with my company every time we have to pull permits, get all the right paperwork for any time we go into a business to do work. Especially because it's fire suppression, everything has to be cleared through all that city's fire marshals and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It is totally one of those things where it's like it is mind-numbingly stupid dealing with the government.
Yeah, my parents, there's a small fireplace in the living room that's natural, but it kind of stinks in the house.
Yeah.
Like smoke. My parents are kind of sensitive to that. I think that's how this story goes. And so they wanted to do what I did in Michigan. One of the fireplaces there I had at my house, I had a gas line put in there so you could just turn it on, flick of a switch. And they wanted to do that at their California home. And it was like they gave up.
Yeah.
They just gave up. No. To go just have someone come and just throw that into an existing chimney setup, forget it.
Just break off the chimney and get yourself an Amish fireplace, put it in that spot. That's the only way you're going to do it.
I don't even know that you could do that. There'd be someone there knocking your, and if you get some work done and California decides like, oh, you didn't pull the proper permits to get that chimney to get that electric chimney put in there, or oh, you did some bathroom work, but you didn't pull the proper permits and get the proper sign-offs from these 14 agencies before you put tile down, tear it out. Yeah. Tear it out. Not a fine, not a, well, let's hear you out. No, tear it out.
Fuck you and all your money.
Yeah. So this is going to get really interesting because when you look at the list of people in Malibu, Pacific Palisades, Santa Monica, you hit the rich area. Okay. Yeah. You didn't, you know, depending on where this goes, there's a lot of slummy areas in LA too, but LA's really designed kind of weird in that you can have Beverly Hills right here, and right next door is, you know, slum villa. Like it's wild. It carved, the way it's cut out, it really is kind of intertwined and mixed. But when you're talking about Malibu, and there's some lower income places in Malibu, believe it or not, you know, people that have been there forever. I don't know what you do with those people, but these rumors that you're hearing now,
they're to run the gas stations.
Yeah, probably. And got a house when Grandma and Grandpa bought it for $12,000 70 years ago. And it's just been passed down. You know, these people with insurance claims and going through that level of red tape, they're going to have to end all this shit. This might be a mini blessing in disguise. It sucks that people have died, but there's no way the Mel Gibsons of the world, house gone. Yeah. If you have the pictures there, Daily Mail did a thing where you can drag the thing and you can.
I'm pulling up right now. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of wild.
To see if I can get it without ads, but that's not happening. They closed the site if you turn the ads off. But yeah, this is
yeah. So there's Mel's house.
Yep.
Can you make
here's
that
Mel's
bigger,
house.
Garrett? Yeah. Doesn't look quite as pretty.
Yeah, something might have happened.
Yeah. I mean, look how beautiful that house was. Holy fuck. That's probably $25 million.
Oh, yeah.
And in front of that is probably right off a cliff into the ocean.
Oh, most likely.
Bella Hadid. Who's Bella Hadid? I don't even know who that is.
I don't know either.
So is that Mel's?
Yeah, this is Mel's.
Mel, I listened to him on the flight on Rogan.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, he didn't know if his house was still there or not. And it was remarkable how much he almost didn't give a shit. He was just like, yeah,
I'll give some dude. He's like, I don't really keep important shit there.
Dude, he did though.
Oh no.
Dude, so him and his son grabbed what they could on the way out. They escaped with their passports, a few documents, his artwork and books, some of which were from the 16th century, were priceless, destroyed in the fire. Do you understand when you talk about it? I think Newberg was talking on his show about he grabbed some fucking passport, my guitar, and some Chips Ahoy.
Yeah.
And then I took off. That's kind of what you can do. And it's like, dude, the amount of fucking priceless artwork that is in these properties.
Yeah, I was about to say, I forgot these celebrities, like the hoard weird things. Like Nicolas Cage has a $10 million T-Rex head or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, imagine that burning up.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, that's where you're going to find dinosaur eggs and shit.
Good luck getting insurance on that.
These people's houses. I don't know how the Getty's doing. I'd love to know how the Getty's doing out there.
I wonder where Martin Shkreli lives. I want to see if that fucking Wu-Tang album that never got released is going to burn.
Isn't that out now?
I don't think so.
Someone bought that.
Yeah, Martin Shkreli.
Oh, Martin did. I thought that was released. I thought you could hear those tracks.
Let me see.
I don't know. Maybe not. Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Brad Hall. That's terrifying. That sucks.
That's what happened. He had to forfeit it to the government as a part of a conviction.
Yeah. So is it out now? Can you listen to those Wu-Tang tracks?
I'm trying to see.
Don't play them here, obviously.
No.
So there's Bella Hadid's house. Let's see how it looks now, Garrett.
Yep.
It looks pretty good on the left. Not so good there.
Yeah, it's like man, you can see the whole hill and everything. It's crazy, like how close it got to the frame. Like,
yeah.
The little vineyard there, just bam, nothing.
Gone. Woof. Joshua Jackson. I don't even know who Joshua Jackson is.
Sounds like one of the Jacksons.
No, I don't think it is. So there's Brad Hall and Julia Louis-Dreyfus's crib. Nice. You see a lot of those with that Spanish roof.
Yeah, it doesn't
throughout
look too crazy.
Beverly Hills, and she must be in the Palisades. Oh, it doesn't look as good there.
No.
Yeah. I don't know what that is on the wall there.
Oh,
Some sort of structure.
Oh, that sucks too, because look at the houses around it that stayed.
Yeah. Those are the ones that believe in God.
Yep.
I think.
Obviously. Those are the ones where they're not gay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the non-gay Christian there.
Yep.
You can see his house on the right.
Yep.
There's obviously a homo next door.
Didn't even get past the trees.
Yeah. Yeah. No, God spared the bushes. He doesn't want any of those heathens.
God only speaks through burning bushes. He doesn't burn them on the Christian's property.
Hell no.
Not unless he's trying to talk to them.
Those are his bushes, man.
Yeah.
Oh, is that one of those pools she has there? One of those lap pools? Is that what that is?
There, yeah, a little infinity pool. Probably turns on and has
yeah, current coming at her so she can swim against the current.
Yeah, you can kind of see the little fucking slot there.
Do we have Ricky Lake's house?
Let's see how far. Let's see. Candy Spelling.
Look at that one.
Yeah, that's one that Drew might be interested in.
That Drew might?
Yeah, he's big on the spellings.
Oh, God. I can't stand the spellings. Ooh, see, that's a $23 million property, I think.
It doesn't even look that good.
It doesn't look like it when you look at it, even when it's standing right there. Yeah. That's on the Malibu beach.
Yeah, that makes sense why it is then.
So, yeah.
Private beach and everything.
Doesn't that look like nothing? Like some of those houses, dude, you see them from the road when you drive by, they look like shacks.
Yeah.
They look like total shacks. And the parking is in the front of those, and it all slopes down into these driveways, and then you see these incredible cars parked there. And then on the backside is the beach there in Malibu, leading into, I believe, Roy Rogers Beach. It's right down there. Yeah.
Right up against the ocean.
Yeah. Yep. Paris Hilton's place, Ricky Lake's place.
Here's Joshua Jackson.
Okay, I don't know who that is. It's not one of the Jackson Fives. It's a white guy. That guy. I feel like I should know who he is. Scroll down.
Candy's close friend. Scroll down. Joshua.
Yeah,
this guy. Yeah, you're right. He is in.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
He does something. $2 million home.
Okay.
Rubble, okay. Oh, actor. Yeah, so he's an actor, I guess.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
Any other big names whose houses we want to check out?
Jen Atkin and Mike Rosenthal.
Don't know who that is. Not that impressed with their house. Anna Faris. I like Anna Faris.
Yeah. Oh, Ricky
There's
Lake.
Ricky Lake's crib.
Oh, no.
Oh, doesn't look so good now.
That's gone. It melted into itself.
Yeah, it did. Oh, there she is.
There's Paris Hilton.
All right. That's right on the beach in Malibu.
Gone.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
house.
So this fire, that hill comes all the way down onto the one. And then on the other side of the one is this strip of houses.
Yeah.
And there's a few restaurants in there. So if you look behind her house there, I can see it in the picture already at Paris's. Like that one, like you can barely see the street back there. And then that hill goes all the way up and there's a shitload of houses up on that hill.
Yeah, you can see it on
So the point is the fire jumped Pacific Coast Highway and then made it onto those fucking houses on the beach.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, usually it would stop at the road because you see in these neighborhoods, man, the road's fine.
Yeah.
So that shows you how powerful those winds were, that it was blowing those embers across the Pacific Coast Highway.
Yeah, this one right here, you can see right above the house where all the houses in the hills hang out.
Yep.
And gone.
Yeah. So see that those 3 lanes or 4 lanes right there? That's how much those embers blew into that shit.
That's
Anna
crazy.
Faris. I like Anna Faris. I'm sad to see her house go.
She can buy a new one. She'll be all right.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, like what's his name was saying, who did I mention? Talking about the commission stuff. He was estimating it'll be 3 years from when you file a claim to when they're dropping lumber off. It's going to be really interesting to see. Yeah, Adam Carolla. Like he's been bitching about this for a while. A few guys have started bitching about this stuff, the red tape. This is what Jay and I used to talk about. You need a war. You know, we need a war. Like you get so frustrated with these bat shit, like, oh yeah, we're going to defund the police. And it's like, yeah, you people are so comfortable and you're so stupid in what you're saying right now. Yeah. You have it too easy. You almost need a war to come in and fucking put perspective back in place for a lot of these people.
What real shit looks like.
This might be their war in LA. This might be it. Because you're talking about people that have the money and the voice.
I know John Goodman's house burned.
John Goodman's did?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got and then so stories like this one, which happened this weekend. Like if I told you this story was going on a month ago, you go, oh, okay. Yeah, it sounds about right for these people. No, this weekend. As the fires continue to rage, Gavin Newsom and the state legislature, which is all Democrat, by the way, on Sunday agreed to set aside $50 million to fight the Trump administration and defend illegal immigrants. That isn't going to fly.
No, not right now, especially.
No, I think you're going to have this might be coming to an end. These people are not going to put up with that while this is going on. Like you have all the time when everything's bubblegum and roses and you live in paradise with beautiful weather and you're hanging out at your local farmer's market and you're doing yoga every day and you're living your best life and you're going to Nobu for dinner every night. When you're doing that, you can put up with a lot of this nonsense. You know, like, ooh, we're going to set aside $50 million to fight the orange Batman. Right now, these people are going to, Gavin Newsom and the likes are going to learn real quick what it's like when these people get desperate. Yeah. And they're used to getting their way. They're used to yes men at all times. They're used to being able to cut through a lot of stuff, pay their way out of stuff. And they're going to be stuck dealing with coastal commissions and all these fucking agencies that have grown into massive, overgrown behemoths in the way of these people's livelihood. These people are going to want to be back in their Malibu homes next weekend.
No, it's
not in
like
3 years, not in 5 years. And the Coastal Commission wants none of those people living there. None of them. They don't want that coast built on.
Yeah,
It's going to be
it's
very
one of those
interesting.
things. I don't know if you saw Ice-T get pulled over and how he had a whole cop interaction. The cop was pretty much a dick to him. It got to a point where Ice-T was almost right in the very end of the whole thing and came off pretty good.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, it's pretty good. It's a good one to watch. It's all police body cam footage of Ice-T getting pulled over going to the DMV. But after it all comes out, now I see a lot of people talking about like, hey, these cops are kind of fucking with people in ways where they shouldn't. Like that cop was giving Ice-T a hard time to a point where like he ended up giving him like fucking 4 tickets and like a bunch of shit. He was trying to tow his car over a fucking not having his license was expired. He was in the parking lot of the DMV getting it fixed.
Wait, was this during the fires?
This is in New York, so it's a whole.
Okay.
It's one of those things where like now that celebrities are starting to get fucked with like regular people, you're starting to see changes. And that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Well, this idea of like, oh my God, we're gonna fight for illegals' rights, and we're a sanctuary city. All that stuff is going to have to go out the window. This idea of like looting stores when you don't like your way, like there are people on the ground there saying fucking shoot them. If these people there's people dressing up as firemen and looting dude, you at some point these people are going to fuck around. Like I don't know that we'll ever know what started these fires, but it would not surprise anyone if it was fucking homeless people. Mentally ill people hanging about, lighting fires, starting fires, campfire, whatever. That guy with a blowtorch, those neighborhoods, you can tell. Do you have that video, Garrett?
Yeah,
we can watch, and then we'll go out with a funnier video, and do some email.
Oh, and I was going to say the Shkreli Wu-Tang album. I got the news on that.
What's that?
Oh, I got the Shkreli Wu-Tang album news. It's still not listenable. It's called Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. Yeah, he played it on a live stream to 5,000 people one time and got sued for it. Martin Shkreli did. Past that, after it got seized, another company bought it and they haven't released it either. And all the guys in Wu-Tang are not happy about that. But they got to a point where they're like, all right, fuck the album.
That it hasn't been released?
Yeah, because they're at a point where they're like, look, it became something more than a one album sort of special deal. It became something way bigger than that. And now the only times it's been released has been in like weird listening rooms. And then also a couple things got released as NFTs.
Yeah.
So that's what happens when you sell your albums to companies.
I mean, I don't care at all, but I do remember that story. Like, it was released in some like NFT form or in some.
Yeah, like each song's going to cost you money and you have to sell it later. And
I knew there was something about that it had publicly been heard by some people. You know, it is what it is. But you know,
I like Wu-Tang. I'd like to hear it, but
I'd check it out. It out. I don't care that much, but
I do.
It's kind of a cool idea, though.
Yeah, you like have honestly, like a master album thing, like only like one copy of the album like can only be out there, and you can't stream it, you can't download it, and keeping it special. But it got to a point where even Method Man's like, all right, dude, it's music, just let people hear it.
Let's see this real quick. This video of this guy with a blowtorch on a bike, homeless guy. Homeless man with a flamethrower. That's what you're going to start seeing. He's yelling to other neighbors.
Yep.
What? I didn't do nothing. What?
No, I'm just carrying a blowtorch and nothing else.
Yeah, what's the problem? What? I can't walk around your streets carrying a blowtorch? Yeah, dude, you walk around LA right now with a blowtorch, you should be shot.
Yeah, it's not the time, dude.
No. This should be definition of fuck around and find out, dude. These are people's entire existence. You want to dress up as a fireman and loot people's houses that are burned out? You should be shot. And I'm glad to see these neighbors standing up. Like, no, dude. No, Gavin Newsom isn't here to save you. Karen Bass isn't here to make you the grand marshal of a parade somewhere because you're just a poor immigrant. Fuck off, dude.
Yeah. Especially because I've been hearing a lot of stories of homeless people using this as a moment of revenge against the rich. So a lot of those crazy motherfuckers are setting fires in LA because they're like, oh, fuck those people who don't let me sleep on their porch.
Yeah, I could see that. Why wouldn't it be like that? After the interview and additional investigative steps looking at some additional evidence that was present, they made the determination there was not enough probable cause to arrest this person on arson or suspicion of arson. The investigation's ongoing. A blowtorch? homeless, illegal.
Yeah, it's a bad look,
And
but technically,
not
unless
to
they caught
mention,
him setting a fire.
those neighbors did.
Oh, they did.
Said
Okay.
they caught him. They saw him torching bushes.
Then that's kind of bullshit. At that
So
point, you got a
fuck
case.
you. Yeah, they should have beat him with his own blowtorch. Honest to God, like
turn your ring cameras on, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And no, dude, I'm sorry. This idea too that we released it, we didn't have enough evidence. Guess what? He doesn't have the rights of a U.S. citizen. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
he's an illegal in this country, causing havoc, making other citizens in that neighborhood react that way. Fuck him. Fuck him. What rights does an illegal in the United States illegally have? Sorry, not to be a dick, but people are done with this shit.
No,
he doesn't have rights.
He doesn't. I was gonna say.
And so what? Your taxpayers in California should pay for his fucking legal services? Fuck out of here. No. How about no?
How pissed do you think Al Qaeda is that all they had to do was give a couple homeless people blowtorches and they could have done way more damage than anything else?
Yeah, probably.
They're just sitting there like, why didn't we think of this? America's inept. We just had to arm the homeless.
Yeah, and they probably will now. Why not?
Yeah. Well, hey, they got plenty.
They're gonna have a harder time because I have a feeling the California residents are not going to put up with this for much longer. Like you wondered, like we've been talking for years about a lot of this going, at what point do they hit rock bottom? At what point does it bottom out and you go, okay, enough of this shit. This might be it right here. This might be it.
Well, especially if you compound that with all the stories about the illegal immigrants not getting vetted properly and how many of them are actually criminals from other countries and terrorists and on watch lists, and we just don't let them. They come into America. How many of those guys are starting these fires? Like, this is their goal. Like how many people against America are in here just like, hey, I know how to start some shit?
Thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands.
We know thousands are here.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, it's going to be very difficult to arrest and remove the amount of people that's necessary. It's going to be ugly. And I sorry, I don't know what to tell you. And this idea of 100% of California paying the government paying for the damage done in California for the next 5 months, something like that. Those stories, fuck off, man. Yeah. No, I want to know what's going on in East Palestine, Ohio. I want to know that those people are taken care of. Get in fucking line, okay? Because those people there had nothing to do with that train derailment that poisoned their water. Flint, Michigan, the residents there who don't have a voice, who just happen to be poor Americans, their water supply is still fucking poison. So before you go take care of the Mel Gibsons and of the world, who can go stay at a 5-star resort for the next 6 months if they want, or 3 years if they want, I'm not as concerned about them right now as I want. If the federal government's going to step in, and they probably rightly should, I want to know what's going on in Hawaii for those poor residents there. Do they just get fucked in the end? And East Palestine, Ohio, especially, that is bullshit what's gone on there. And to just like walk away from them, I don't know what you consider them, the poor Americans, MAGA, whatever you think, but it's bullshit. So this idea of like, oh yeah, we're going to come in and pay for it, fix everything in California. Well, I'm quite certain that a lot of your governance led to at least some of this. I'm not gonna say that all of this. It's too easy to point the finger and just go, well, that's what you get with Democrat leadership for 60 years, in a super majority for 60 years. But damn right, some of this is in their lap. And, a lot of us have seen this playing out for many, many, many years. So we'll see how this goes. But I did want to go out with this one, Garrett, the road rage, Karen.
Yeah.
I love these. Karen attacked a man. And this happened. I saw this a week ago when, and I was just like, oh, I just love it so much. The Karen videos, I think I'm not crazy about a lot of them. You get some bitchy woman. I feel bad for the Karens of the world, that are just innocently going through life as a Karen, and now they're kind of ruined. Some of them suck, but I don't like the idea of jumping into an argument 5 minutes into it and then getting the reaction of a white lady getting pissed.
Yeah, like that. What was that story where the white lady was getting all this fucking crap for telling those black guys not to take the bike, but she didn't put it back yet or something, and she was going to get charged for the ride, and she was pregnant or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like she got into an argument. Everyone's like, "Oh, this fucking Karen telling black people they can't ride the city bike." But it turns out she was pregnant and already had the bike paid for, and it was hers.
Yep. Yeah, totally. Like those ones. There was the sub shop where the girl was paying her way through school, the black kids came in and she was like, "You got to pay first," and they were all, "Oh my god, they're not making the white people pay first," and it was like, yeah, because she recognized you as the guys who keep coming in, getting a sandwich made and then bolting.
Yeah, the other guys who took the tip jar last time,
and she was paying for it out of pocket herself. Yeah. And so they tried to turn it into a black white. They like horrible, and there's no accountability. No one's held. So some of those I can't stand, but this video I loved, and I firmly believe this. Like, going through life, if you can just not be an asshole, it does miles of good for you.
Yeah.
And if you think that, like, you there's some women out there that are starting to believe we're all equals, and hey, I'm fuck with me, I'm as badass as anyone. I watched another video this weekend of some woman getting in this guy's face. She's like, "Yeah, I'll fucking beat your ass. I'll beat your ass." And it was like, lady, you are going to fall like a woman. I'm sorry. You're going to get hit and you're going to fall like a woman, which never looks good. Never. And while I would never hit a woman, and I never have, maybe it takes a couple of these videos. I have never hurt a bitch unless she had it coming to her kind of videos before, maybe we wake up and realize, oh yeah, you can't just walk around, say anything or hit anyone you want. Someone might pick you up and throw you on your ass.
Yeah. No, do you have the video there? I have a different one real quick if you want, just a clear cut and dry 10 seconds exactly why women are different than men and Karens don't mean anything. This guy's fishing in a pond and a Karen comes to try and stop him real quick, but it's just so funny. That's what I mean by Karen, you can't be fighting fishing. The guy doesn't even budge. She runs right into him. She's like, "What the fuck, lady?" She falls on the ground. What are you doing?
Throw her in the water. That's what she deserves at this point. She's put her hands on him. That's assault.
Yeah, and the guy's just standing there with his arm out.
Laughing.
Fuck off. Yeah, he's laughing. We're all laughing at her. Like, go away.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't move an inch.
No, he didn't budge.
Have you seen this one?
Full force.
This one happened in Ohio. And I'm proud of my our friends from Ohio. Your cities suck.
Shout out to the armpit.
Yeah, I think this was in Toledo, maybe. Yeah, Toledo.
Okay.
Which really does. Is that the triple nickel? So yeah, let's watch the video here and see where she went wrong.
All right.
No, she means business. She's mad.
Let's go! Get out of the
Let's go.
car! You run around my fucking ass! Get out of the fucking car there, bitch! Get out! Get out!
Now a guy gets out of the car.
You were on my guy.
Oh, I love the pajama pants in this.
Yeah, pajama pants.
Put your fucking hands on me. I ain't driving crazy. Your bitch was on my goddamn ass. I went in your fucking other lane. Get out of my
This is the fuck around part, Garrett.
Oh, she hit him. It's on now.
Oh.
And down she goes.
Ooh. Ooh.
Bitch is out.
Wait, why isn't she yelling at him why isn't she yelling at him anymore?
Yeah, you're done. You got laid the fuck out. And I love the, you know what? Shout out to the girlfriend for
immediately leaving. Listen to her. Montez. I'm very, very injured. An actual man picked me up and dropped me on my ass. Yeah. Did you notice Montez didn't get out of the car to help out there?
No, he probably went, bitch, you fucked around. You found out.
This is an extreme version of when you're driving down the road and your girl reaches over and honks the horn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to want to strangle Beth. She did that to me a couple times. I was like, bitch, I'm the one that's going to have to fucking deal with your obnoxiousness. Don't just start laying on my horn at people that you don't know, thinking you're tough. Okay. Yeah. Because they're more than likely a man's going to get out of the car. Now I got to fucking deal with it. Yeah. Montez in that video there, Montez has seen this behavior before. Montez did not exit the car.
No, he got, he's yeah. You got that one.
Yeah, she's going to go.
Shout out to the girlfriend of the guy who finish this Karen off. But shout out to her.
Yeah.
As soon as he got back in the car, she backed the fuck up and got out.
Yeah.
They were gone.
Time to go.
They're like, all right, we won. Get out. I'm like, that is a woman.
It's unclear what sparked the brutal interaction, if anyone suffered injuries as a result. Well, the Karen the unidentified Karen, I think is going to feel that for a while. There's going to be some massages in her future. And that's one of those where in 20 years, she's going to have a quirk in her back and,
I'm
her.
sure what they call those, the official term for that move was a tombstone pile driver.
Is that what that was?
I think so. Or the tombstone might be
right.
upside down drop, but that sounds like it. Just the flip up and right on your back and head.
Yeah. Now, I don't know where you land on this because obviously we've been taught my whole life, and I get it. Like as men, you understand bone structure a little bit. You understand size advantage. And again, I always say this whenever I talk about this. I understand the Brienne of Tarth women exist, and there's countless women in this world who could beat my ass.
Yeah.
Probably, right? But
here.
when you talk at scale, when you talk about the masses, got to be very careful here because most guys can do just that to almost any
That
woman.
guy was built like me, and he totally picked her right up like it was nothing and dropped her.
And she thought there's no way that this guy's going to do anything. I can yell at him in his face, and then I can take a swing at him. And
the guy was walking away when she took the swing. He was turned around back to her, getting back in his car.
And as soon as she connected with his head, he turned around and went, all right, bitch.
Fights on.
And picked her up and did the what move?
Yep. No, I think every bit of that
What's
was
it called, Garrett?
Tombstone pile driver.
Yeah, he operated the tombstone pile driver.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, this does end with no one made any claims. So they've asked the police, like, what are you doing? And Toledo police are like, yeah, nobody called this incident in. It's like,
we didn't even know what happened.
Even the Karen and Montez, assuming Montez is a white guy, even Montez didn't want anything to do with this. It was like, bitch, you're going to learn one of these days.
Yep.
You're going to learn.
Look, I ain't allowed to hit you, but
yeah. Can't do anything
gonna...
about pajama pants. Pajama pants over there took things into his own hands.
He was on it.
All right. Let's do a couple emails.
And for where I stand on that, I think that everybody's equal and that we probably shouldn't hit each other. But if blows are going to blows, then equal rights, equal fights. Let's go.
Yeah. I think we can hit some women. Like if you and your girlfriend get into a fight, I have no problem if you two go to blows. I don't know why. You've got a girlfriend, and if you wanted to fucking go toe to toe with her, I have no problem with that for some reason.
Yeah.
But in most of these instances, but ladies, I gotta say, fucking crazy people are everywhere. And I'm not saying pajama pant guy wasn't absolutely in his right, but you start swinging, that can happen.
You might get something a little bit more than a guy who was trying to walk away and just said, look, fine, I'll finish the fight right here, get back in the car and leave. Like you might get somebody who's like, all right, we're fighting, I'm taking you down.
Oh, poor Montez too. The amount of times he's heard, Montez!
I wonder how many times she hit him. And he was just taking it like, man, if I hit this bitch back, she's calling the cops.
Yeah. Or maybe she's been taking it for a while and she doesn't call the cops.
She was pretty confident in her swing.
Montez sticks around.
Maybe.
Anyway.
She seemed pretty confident in that swing. She full arm extension out, went in for it.
Oh, yeah. She was very, very confident in her ability to take that guy down. And she learned the hard way that she was not capable of that.
Turns out the guy just hit. He was like, really? Like he turned around and was like, all right.
Yeah. It's like, damn.
Didn't do anything. All right.
Yep. And now I'm going to end this. This ends right now. I'm not going to give this idiot a chance to go back to her car and plow into me, or she's clearly nuts. And so he finished it right where she started it. I did want to say I won't be here tomorrow. I've got a doctor's appointment. And of course, I don't know what it is. If I have a dentist appointment, they schedule every one of them at 2:30. And if I have a doctor's appointment, they schedule every one of them at 3:00, which they did. But never fear, we will do a full slate of shows this week. Yep. Garrett and I are going to do a Friday show instead of tomorrow because I've got to go on the other side of town at 3:00. And so the day will get away from us. So don't worry, we'll be here. Wanted to welcome Matthew Danville. Hello, Matthew. I don't think I mentioned him, a new Patreon member. We will do a Patreon show this week. Thank you, Matthew.
Welcome aboard.
For being here. Certainly appreciate that. And all right, let's do a couple emails and we'll call it a day. All right. Sound good, Garrett?
Yeah.
All right. Normal World. Connor chimes in. Hey, Mike. Hope you've had a great holiday break and enjoyed time with your family. I really did. I had a great time with Chris and Jen. Saw my folks, the little ones. It was awesome. It goes so fast. I brought Cease with me, so Cece was able to go with me, and she had a blast hanging out with her Graham. So we did. I hope you guys all had a great time with your families as well. Hope I know some holidays are tough for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I totally get that. I've spent plenty of holidays alone, so I know what that's like. So hopefully most of you had a great one. I listened to Normal World with you and Drew. It was so damn funny. Dave's breakdown and absolutely shitting on Goodwill Hunting had me in tears, and then he kept going back to it. You were great as well. And it's just a side throwaway. Did you notice that throwaway? Yeah, you were great.
Like, yeah, you were there. I'm mentioning you.
You were there. Yeah, I should probably mention you were great too.
Yeah.
No, it's very hard when doing a show like that when it's out of my control completely. Where you don't want to interrupt. You want to kind of stay in your lane, and because it's someone else's show and they're driving it and they're going where they're going. So it's always kind of an uncomfortable thing when you're sitting there like, I got something here. And my first thought is this going to cross a line? Am I going too far? Like, I know they don't like saying fuck too much, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain things that on a bigger show like
Dave,
that.
Dave usually breaks a lot of the rules before anyone else does. So you kind of just follow where he goes, and that's your limit.
Totally. But I'm comfortable letting him cross that limit on his show. And with me, it's like, I don't want to be the one where they're like, shit, we liked having him, but he
totally fucking was fanning for Hitler half the time, and it got awkward.
Yeah, exactly. Or, I can go hard in the paint on race stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, you just don't know what the audience is used to, and you don't know what the host may have planned that he's already got. Cause there's a whole outline that they give you. So that I know there's a bunch of stories coming. And every time I've done that show, we don't usually get to a fraction of them because we get on a roll on something else, but it does make it hard. So I hope people enjoyed it, but they are a little tricky. Can't wait for your return to the TDC world as we have missed our fearless leader. I don't know. Fearless is a good word. Hi, Woke Bay.
Hi.
With love, Connor.
Yeah, he was here. He said, welcome back. Missed you fellas. Hi, Woke Bay.
Who said that? Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah, I missed you guys too. I honestly did.
We got a lot of welcome backs.
Oh, good. Hi, Beth. Yay, welcome back. Cliff, just tuning in. Hell yeah, boys. Yeah, honestly, welcome back. Glad to see you. Lynn, it's good to hear from you. It was harder than I thought. Oh, look who decided to show up for work. Yes, Doug, I know. Being gone for 2 weeks was, during the holidays, most shows are gone for 2 weeks. Yeah. It's just the way it is. Coming back for a day on the weekend and then flying out to Dallas made it like, holy shit. Were you ever going back to this? So
yeah, you texted me, hey, you want to do a quick members thing real quick? I'm like, I'm already out running groceries, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was going to do a members if you were available. It was totally last minute.
Yeah.
Last weekend. Before the Lions game, I think. So blame Garrett, not me. Okay. I was planning on doing something. It's Garrett's fault.
Yeah.
So James, such a dick. Gizmo. Okay, Gizmo was the cat.
Yeah.
So the Yotes tore it up, huh? Most action the Warden's pussy's seen in years.
We get it.
I'm not going to tell her you said that. All right, we'll call it there.
You're going to tell her you said it. That was funny.
Yeah, I'm going to tell her James said it.
No, you did.
No, I didn't say it.
Take credit for his joke.
Huh?
Take credit for his joke.
No, I'm not stealing his joke. He can have that one.
All right.
Anyway, so we'll see you guys Wednesday. And Walters at DetroitCast.com. Send an email. It's great to be back. It's good to see you, Garrett. And some exciting stuff. I had a lot of fun with Drew, and we talked about a lot of stuff. He is really pushing the Dabbleverse hard on me. He wants Carl to come on this show.
In, dude. I'm sorry. I would love to talk to Carl. Well,
I know.
Here's the thing, too, is I've already talked to Carl, so I can, if you need him on the show, let me know.
Oh, no. We can make that happen. Yeah. It's just a matter of, it just
if you ever
like
need a
lot.
Crash course, let me know. It is a lot.
Yeah. I know Drew would mention that. He's like, yeah, Garrett knows. And I'm like, yeah.
There's documentaries you can send to people like about this.
Yeah. I've heard, I'm aware, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But anyways, have a great rest of the day, everybody. We'll be back on Wednesday. We'll see you then. And Garrett, I'll talk to you then as well.
Sounds good.